Nobody likes to go to the mailbox and find a letter from the IRS. But when it's a check and it's a surprise, why is this happening? Let's find out. Hi, I am Alison Eddings. I am a CPA and private tax practice. Welcome to my channel. So, have you gotten a surprise letter lately, or a surprise check, I should say, from the IRS? You would think they'd put a letter in there, right? Isn't it so weird sometimes when you get checks in the mail and nobody puts a letter in there? Like they think you just know what this is. Well, it has been an interesting tax season. I mean, last season was interesting too, but this season was so interesting. That's a kind word for it. So e-filing opened last week. Was it the last week in January? Usually it's the last week in January. I'm thinking they delayed it a little bit. Maybe it was February. But either way, March 11th of 2021, administration made changes to the 2020 tax code. Yes, that's right. How many days is that? 31 plus 28 plus 11 days into the new year, they changed the previous year's laws. Lots of taxpayers don't realize that administration does this. The latest I've seen tax law change affect a previous period is after the extension is over. Like if you file an extension as an individual to file your taxes, you have until like October 15th usually. And a couple of years ago, there was a revised law that came into effect for the previous tax period that was written after April 15th. Yes, you heard that right. If you filed the timely tax return, you filed it wrong. So in this case, at least it was just 2 months and 11 days. But 2 months and 11 days into the new year, the administration created a little law. I'm sorry, I keep looking. There's a spider right there, and I'm not really happy about that. I'm not a spider fan. The administration made a law that said the first $10,200 of unemployment that you collected in 2020 is not subject to federal tax according to certain limitations. Certain limitations being that you didn't make more than $150,000 and other things. But lots of people had already filed their returns. In fact, we heard whispers that this might be happening, and a few of my clients know that I held their returns because we were going to wait and see if it happened. And then it was pulled off of the table, out of the docket. The law was removed, and we thought, okay, we're safe to file these returns. And then guess what? They reintroduced it. It happened like overnight, which doesn't usually happen with laws. You know, laws are introduced, they're debated, but this was like it happened in like a 24, 36-hour cycle. It was crazy. You go to bed one night and you wake up the next morning and there's this new law, which is unsettling in and of itself, I gotta say. So lots of taxpayers who are eligible to exclude that $10,200 from their return are getting checks from the IRS. But, big fat but here, if taking that $10,200 out of your return causes other credits to increase, the IRS is not sending you that money, man. So all they're doing is saying, okay, you made less than $150,000 and you had unemployment of $14,000. So we're going to take that 10.2 at your incremental rate. We're going to multiply that. We're going to send you a check, but we're not going to make adjustments if that affects your dependent care credit or your child tax credit, or is it possible to affect the earned income? I don't know right off the top of my head. If it's possible, I guess it could be. But there's all kinds of credits out there, so you could be entitled to more refund, and that kind of stinks. If you have a preparer that you worked with, hopefully they've reached out to you to let you know. If you're my client, I have reached out to let you know if it's going to be helpful for you to amend, and we're going to just take care of that. But otherwise, it might benefit you to contact someone and find out if you're better off. And this year, I mean, let me just add this caveat. because things are really weird just with COVID and all the changes, and it looks like things are escalating again with this Delta. I had taxpayers, and some of you guys know who you are, who, because this code was kind of strangely written, quickly written, that they could have taken advantage of different filing situations. Let's say it was a married couple who made $160,000 combined. Well, boom, they hit the phase out. So they're no longer eligible to take that exclusion. But if they'd have filed married filing separately, they could have taken that exclusion. Well, they didn't know that. And I have taxpayers who came to me after the fact, after filing 2020, and you can't amend from a married filing joint to a married filing separate, so we can't take advantage of that. These are good years to have tax professionals helping you. And when I say tax professionals, I mean CPAs and enrolled agents, not unenrolled preparers. In fact, the administration is actively trying to restrict what they call unenrolled preparers from preparing returns, because there's no, I mean, you see it all the time, that unenrolled preparers really make egregious mistakes, and there is no standard to hold them to. It's just like if I walked up to you on the street and tried to perform an appendectomy. Well, I guess that doesn't apply, because you could charge me with, like some kind of endangerment. There's nothing you can do if an unenrolled preparer doesn't help you. So good time to have a professional help you for 21. For 2020, if you haven't filed it for 21, as you're planning and going into it, CPA and EA, you don't need a tax attorney, really. If you did, I'd tell you. So feel free to reach out to me, and we'll tell you if you do. It's very rare that you need a CPA attorney. Some cases you do. But anyway, so that's why you might be getting a letter from the IRS, or not a letter, a check from the IRS. Forgive me, I have not learned how to edit these videos yet, so if I fumble over my words, they're going to stay in the video until I have an intern that can edit these videos for me, or I learn how to. But you know what I think you'd rather me do? Apply the law properly. Take advantage of loopholes for you, do other things like that, and not learn how to edit videos. But let me just say, if this content was helpful, useful, inspiring, please do like, subscribe, share, because not all this content will be relevant for you, but it might be relevant for somebody else. And I really want the world to know, and well, the world doesn't matter. China probably doesn't matter to our tax code, but at least American citizens to have an informed, and just to understand the tax code. And yeah, it's going to be hard to understand all of it, but just a little more. If you learn a little more every day, soon you'll have a lot more power. As is true with all things, the more you know, right? I hope that's not copyright written. Whatever. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care.